Hi, Jim. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. Appreciate, obviously, it's going to be quite busy for you, sort of doing other things, I would assume. We're just going to discuss a few things today about the industry, about the IMDA, and obviously about your own business as well, and maybe what you've done during this pandemic. So just to kick things off, how are you?
Well, I suppose all things considered, Paul, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine.
Good.
Kept busy. You've got to try and keep some kind of routine in your life, I think. So just been getting up at the same time in the morning, walking the dog as normal, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So yeah, I think you've got to keep positive as well. You've got to be an optimist rather than be a pessimist at
Yeah.
this time. It is just keeping that mindset, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And is family and friends all okay?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, with regards to the actual virus itself, certainly close family members are all safe and well. Both myself and Gail, my wife, have got elderly parents, so obviously we're keeping an eye on them as well from a distance.
Yeah.
Sadly, we just lost a very good customer of mine that I've known for 27 years, which is very sad. He just newly ordered a brand new car as well, which is very, very sad. Such a gentleman as well. So what it does is it brings the whole thing, home in reality. It brings it back
Yeah.
to the basics, isn't it? And it's about life and death and, how important those things are, So.
Yeah, it just like you say, it really hammers home because it can be quite easy to get quite complacent and go, well, I'll just nip out for a bit. There's no harm. I feel fine. It just really cements the government's advice to stay at home and only go out for essentials, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Well, what do you what of the obviously being one of the founders of the IMDA, what has the IMDA done for its members?
I mean, there's a number of things. I mean, the IMDA, so the Independent Motor Dealer Association, what we just come out of a meeting just on Monday night, or Monday afternoon, I should say, and it was a very, very positive, really good, positive meeting. And, what we spoke about was how we can obviously support our members and dealers that bit further. So a lot of things that came out of that meeting, it was just, as I say, just a Monday afternoon there, was about what we're looking to do is invite some new blood onto the IMDA, to get some fresh ideas and share some of the workload, which is obviously is generated because there's a lot of workload for the members that are already there. Certainly, UMesh does a fantastic amount of work behind the scenes, which a lot obviously you can't see at the front end. But fantastic amount of workload he takes on board himself, as like a couple of other guys do as well. But we need obviously fresh blood on board, which we have spoken a few names, and we will start to invite these guys on and hopefully generate some fresh ideas and fresh initiatives as well. We've discussed as well some great initiatives planned for the current members to encourage new members joining as well.
Yeah.
So those are really exciting stuff. And there's also some exciting changes to the way we currently communicate with our suppliers to help them gain more from the membership as well. So these are all things that were discussed during that fresh meeting just on Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
But also, some of the support that we've already been given to our members, and I suppose not just our members, but dealers out with that membership and also industry out with our industry. We set up a petition which has been doing its round with regards to clarification or asking the UK government to revisit the whole furlough agreement on the basis of salespeople. Because there's a lot of confusion with regards to when the furlough payments come out or the calculation was based. It specifically said it would not include commission. Now, obviously, if you're a salesperson, the majority of salespeople are actually paid on the basic wage and then on a commission based on sales or performance generated. So that obviously then excluded. There's a lot of people, regardless of what industry you were in, panicking, salespeople panicking, saying they're not going to always get paid if even at 80%, even if they're furloughed. So we put a petition together. It was Saturday past, so that was Saturday 4th, and believe it or not, we've had almost 28,000 signatures on that petition already. Luckily, just this Saturday past, and that was Saturday the 4th, I should say, of April, the government actually put in some guidelines, or better guidelines, with regards to commission would be included. So,
Okay.
I've got no idea if that petition had any bearing at all on that change or on that clarification.
Yeah.
But certainly what it did bring to the forefront was, to the public view, it brought up, I suppose, a better understanding of what salespeople and how they are paid, and potentially what pain they could have actually had with regards to that. The other things that we're doing, Paul, with IMDA, because I really like to get this kind of points across, because IMDA is such a strong association.
Yeah.
We're also looking to give more guidance with regards to the furlough leave payments, better clarification, and we've got some great legal people already in the industry helping us with that and how to put that across to our members. So that will obviously help certainly give better clarification with the furlough side of things, which obviously a lot of people have actually furloughed a lot of staff.
Yeah.
And we're also put together our IMDA guidelines on grants available, loans available to members, what you can do for rates relief, VAT payment deferral, PAYE deferral payments, and also, which is really, really exciting, is we're looking to publish and share some great information and great ideas about how to go forward after the lockdown, post-lockdown, when it's lifted, about the best practice about social distancing when you're selling, and handovers and deliveries, etc. as well. Because, we've got to get past this, and we've got to look at the long term and look past the lockdown now, I think.
Yeah.
And, another thing which has been a fantastic success, I think, is, the guys have been sharing some real stories out there. One that comes, springs to mind is a great story that Brett Wills, who shared his own personal journey when he lost his business, Saxton Bridge.
Yeah.
And some really practical, real deep information in there, which none of us as business people have likely experienced before, but it's things that you've got to look at now, because things that he could have actually done differently that might have actually put him in a different position now, and he's happy to share these, which is great information, isn't it? So
it's like I say, things like that, it's I mean, this is unknown, isn't it, really? I mean, I never thought I'd see the day where dealerships would close their doors. I mean, having worked in the industry, I know that you've got to have lost an arm before you're allowed a day off. So, to see dealers actually shut the doors is just incredible. And that's really, for me, when it really, really hit home that this is affecting everybody. Just because I think, rightly or wrongly, I think, the motor industry as a whole is quite a stubborn industry, and they don't want to basically, quit. Your point about the IMDA being, a valuable body, I suppose, is bang on the nose. Which is obviously why we've Carsnip has recently partnered with you guys, because obviously we want to support your members, but we also feel that you can, the IMDA can actually help us, and we can position ourselves better in the market because of the communications, between ourselves. And just on that point, I mean, what is the feedback that you're getting from your current IMDA members?
I mean, certainly it's a very positive feedback we're getting. I think dealers and members at this moment in time are very much looking at what they can do for themselves. They're very much inward looking, so it's into their own business. What needs to be done, what can be done. They're very, I suppose, very now. It's what we can do now type of thing.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I suppose it's just like the good old notice that's up on your your life jacket when you're in your aeroplane, isn't it? You know, you've got to help on your put on your own life jacket first before you help others.
Yeah.
So that's what we've all been doing, you know, as business owners, because at the end of the day, we're all business owners in the IMDA.
Of course.
And we've all been getting our own life jackets on first so we can
Yeah.
survive, to hopefully help give advice to our members, you know, to help give that advice to our members. So, I mean, certainly the feedback's been fantastic from the feedback that we've actually received, and we've had quite a few messages, you know, over the last few days, and certainly, you know, week or so, as certainly the IMDA members start to, you know, absorb some of the information that we're actually putting out there. So it's good.
Yeah, good. I just want to pick your brain a little bit, and what you think. And again, this is the $1 million question. But what do you think the impact would be, or the impact is going to be on the industry? You know, short, medium, and long term, for when we sort of finally are allowed out the house.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it's the unknown. You know, it is. You know, it's never happened before. You know, this. You know, you quite rightly say. You know, no businesses have been, you know, closed for, you know, like a 3-week period or 4-week period, or potentially, you know, a couple of month period. We've never been closed for that period of time. So it's very unsure. We're very unsure what will actually happen, you know, with the economy side of things. What is for sure, it will have an impact. There's absolutely no doubt about that, and it will have a negative impact. I think how we deal with it as a businesses individually is very much so if you're a pessimist or an optimist. I think. You know, the pessimist in me says, you know, there's going to be businesses close their doors, bankruptcies. You know, there's going to be distressed selling, which will, you know, potentially lead to the collapse of car values. You know, the lack of buyers. You know, they wouldn't have jobs, so they can't borrow money, so they wouldn't be buying cars.
Yeah.
But the optimist, you know, in me goes, well, you know, this could actually be a short-term blip. It could be could be, you know, the market will come back eventually. You know, nothing lasts forever. You know, the government grants are there to help us, and they've helped us massively. You know, the furlough grant is obviously there available to make sure you can retain staff, which is fantastic initiative from the government. There's grants available as well, you know, to pay out for that short-term basis when you have got to pay out your wages before you get them back, so on. You know, there's business rate relief. You know, there's savings to be made. It makes you, as a business, look at those outgoings. You know, you've got direct debits left, right, and centre, and you go, what was that for again? What was that for again? Because we all do it personally, and it's not until you go, I've got to go and sort that out. Now we've been forced to go and sort that out, so that's a good thing. It's come from it. You know, potentially as a pent up demand. You know, potentially as a pent up demand from customers. You know, they're indoors. Most of us are doing the right thing and living indoors. You know, moving out to our garden or whatever. So, you know, they're not spending money. You know, we can't spend money when you're actually sitting indoors. So potentially, you know, customers have actually, or potential customers out there have got some savings. You know, that'd be £500 saving or £1,000, which they wouldn't normally have to put into a deposit. And they may well, instead of going on that holiday, which has been cancelled anyway, and they may well not want to go abroad anyway, they may think, let's treat myself to a car. You know, so with regards to values, you know, the values is a difficult one, the car values. You know, CARP have already agreed that they'll pause the trade values, which is obviously fantastic for the industry.
That's for 3 months, isn't it? They've said that. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It's almost like they basically said it's paused, isn't it? Because there's no data to gather, so there's no data to base, obviously, you know, the prediction of the values of cars. But what we've got to remember is, you know, prior to this, you know, just 2 weeks prior to this, and for a lot of businesses, it'll be the saving grace of it. It was really hard to get hold of stock. You know, prices were so expensive. You were going, I'd rather not buy that stupid high price. You know, I'd rather go and find something elsewhere. So I think stocks at dealerships have been relatively low, which in the ironic side of things is actually the saving grace for a lot of businesses, because normally at this time of year in March, you'd be selling very, very close to the limit, high stock asset value, and you'd have very, very little in the bank because you're working on the cash flow. But once the cash flow is gone, and it went very, very suddenly, you know, you're sitting with high stock value and nothing in the bank. And
Yeah.
that, for those that have been caught out, that's going to be the unfortunate thing, So
Scary when you look at that, I suppose, isn't it?
it is. The reality is, Paul. The economy side of things. We're all going to pay back this for a long, long time. That's the reality of it. We're all going to. Government grants do not come with no cost.
No,
That is it.
well, yeah.
So
It's
we all put that
unprecedented.
in.
It's
It is.
unprecedented the level of support they've given, which is, as you've rightly said, on one hand, fantastic, but long term, will they when the business rates go back to normal, will they add 0.5% just to sort of who knows? But the thing is, obviously, it's the support they're giving now that will save the businesses that would actually probably be happy to maybe pay an additional 0.5% because they've still got a business because of the government. And I think you're right. I've heard a lot about values, used car values, when we come out the other side, and you've got differing. So people saying, yeah, they'll go up, no, they'll go down. Who knows? Who knows? It's killing, and it's killing my wife. We've obviously both been paid, and she wants to spend money, and she can't, which is great. I love it, but yeah.
If you look at the evaluation side of things as well, Paul, right up until that point 2 weeks ago, we're all scrabbling after the same really nice stock. We're paying stupid money for it.
Yeah.
The compounded effect of that is there's no new cars being produced at the moment in the world.
Yeah.
Which means that they're not coming onto the market. That'll take quite a while to sort out to rectify itself. So those sitting with pre-registered stock, those people, our dealers sitting with nearly new stock with low miles, they're on a winner because they will manage. Don't distress sell them. Unless
don't
you
panic.
need cash flow. Don't just give them away unless you need that money back in to pay wages or whatever. What you should be doing is sitting tight with that stock because it will sell, and it will most likely sell at premium once it gets back to some kind of normality. That's my thoughts anyway.
Do you think? I'll ask a question a different way. How long do you think it will take to get back to some form of normality? Not necessarily, where we were pre-pandemic, but some form of normality. What do you think? Again, unknown, I appreciate, but
it is, isn't it? Yeah. I think a lot is going to be based. If you look at the very, very short term of what's really out there at this moment in time with regards to staying indoors, staying out of parks, the better weather's coming out, the spring weather and so on. Easter's just around the corner, which is a biggie, especially with you guys down in England. Not so much up in Scotland, but certainly down in England, it's obviously a massive celebration, isn't it? So and fantastic holidays, and normally coincides with nice weather. Now that's going to be an issue. So I think potentially the rhetoric or what the government will actually potentially do is put that lockdown on for potentially another week, another 10 days, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
I feel that might be the case to keep everybody indoors. But we just don't know. I mean, there's now word of, the medical people speaking about, this herd immunity. So do they actually put people together to try and get that, disease to go that bit further, to grow that bit further, to help the long term. So it's very hard to understand how long it will take. My hopes, I'm hoping, we'll be back, for May the 1st. I mean, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that we'll just get right off April anyway. The reality is, I'd like to think that we're going to be back potentially at some degree in May. So fingers crossed. It's just the earliest point, isn't it? It's just trying to get back to the earliest point. So.
And when we're back, what are your thoughts? Do you think we'll go sort of hit the ground running, or do you think it will be, doors are open a month, it's sort of slowly and steadily starting to pick up? What do you think? It will be a fairly fast start for the industry as a whole, or do you think it will be quite a gradual process?
I think what it'll depend on, Paul, is as businesses, individual businesses themselves, it's down to how they plan now for the new norm, because normal doesn't, normal isn't normal anymore. So that sitting in your office, nice little cozy office across, cities from each other, doing a deal, putting out your hand to shake a deal, will not exist for a long time. So how do you change that? How do you, just change the practicality of that in your showroom, for instance? How do you change that, the practicality of doing a handover, for instance? How do you change the practicality of somebody doing a collection, for instance? These are all changes that are going to be made, and these are the things that businesses should be looking at now to make sure that they do hit the ground running, because they need to plan for that now, because that is the new norm. Social distancing has been something that's been thrust upon us, but that's going to be the new norm. Social distance will be there for a long time to come. Absolutely.
So, sort of leading on from that would be, what do you think? Obviously, if you think about the traditional sales process that has been around since Jesus was a boy, do you think this will force the industry then to change that sales process and maybe be maybe more modern, if that's probably the right word? So the old school steps of meet and greet, qualify, etc. Is that going to change, do you believe? And do you reckon that's going to have more of a shift to more of a digital platform, or not?
100%. It's, we're going to be forced to, regardless of those who are going to be, there's going to be those who have got an insight into it already and know that it's going to be, it's basically just turning on a switch. It's already there in the background. All they've got to do is turn on the switch and go for it.
Yeah, cool.
The ones that are going to struggle are the ones who have been pulled kicking and screaming to this new, technology. They'll never deal with it. Because we're closing the doors just now. They'll never ever deal with it because they're going to lose so much business out of it. So we're going to be forced to do it. We're going to be forced to do this contactless, dealing. But we've got the technology, Paul. The technology. The fact that I'm up in Scotland, where about in England you are, but I mean, we're speaking to each other. Clear as day. You could be sitting across the city from there. But we've got that technology, which is unbelievable, and we just don't use it to the best degree of for our businesses. So what's stopping using the video and conference technology as Zoom or whatever it is that you use, for dealing with customers? Let's do all the groundwork with the technology that we've got. We've got video, walk around videos, which are very easy to do. We've all got smartphones. Let's use the technology that we've got, and to our advantage, and make it that bit easier. The only contact, the shame, I suppose, the big shame about it is, Paul, is for me, being, I'm 50 and been through obviously the whole thing. One of the warmest, best things about my job is the fact that you get to speak to your customers face to face. Sadly, for me, that's going to be one of the biggest misses that I'll actually have, because that's how you build up friendships and relationships over years. And that's the thing, it's going to go by the wayside quite a bit, I would suggest. So
I suppose the initial part of that will be, as you say, will be more digital. Don't worry, you might still get to talk to some people. Never know. I've seen a couple of posts that you've put on LinkedIn about sort of the inquiries that are coming in. You've even sold a car, which is great. I suppose two-part question. How have you done that? How have you remained visible, which is obviously crucial? And what have you done within the business? I suppose same question, but asked differently, I suppose.
So, I mean, what we've done is, and it was I suppose a decision I had to make quite early on. So what we decided to do was we had to unfortunately furlough, the majority of our staff. Because when you close the doors, on both the sales centre and the service centre. Although, quite rightly so, we could have actually still been open the service centre. But it's a dwindling, especially once the MOT thing was qualified, that there was going to be, no need to get a car MOT'd, you got an automatic extension for 6 months. There's no need then. There's not the same need for people to come out. And if they're exercising what they should be doing and only having essential car journeys, they weren't going to come and get their car serviced. That's the reality of it. Showroom door closed. So, valeters got to go home, salespeople got to go home, handy people got to go home, administration people got to go home. So we had to make that decision. So what we did was we looked at, I looked at obviously, how much of a skeleton staff can we actually work with. So what I decided to do is keep myself in work and Phil, who's my son-in-law, but also my sales manager, in work as well. We diverted the phones to Phil, so he's taking all the phone calls coming into the business. That's for both sales and service. I'm dealing with service inquiries. Phil's dealing very much so with the sales inquiry, and that's how we've obviously set up the business. So at the moment, there's 2 people behind Jim Reid Vehicle Sales and Service at this moment in time. It's just myself and Phil. Now, with that in mind, with regards to keeping ourselves visible, okay, because it's very important. I think brand awareness is obviously one of the biggest things. Is again with a very strict strategy of what we want actually to accomplish, especially with social media. With regards to advertising side of things, and I'll come back to social media, but with regards to the advertising side of things, we never cut any of our advertising. The advertiser actually came to us and suggested that they would be taking 50% less or whatever it was less. So we've left those adverts running, which I'm glad we have, because we've got a few inquiries off of those, which is fantastic. So we've left those obviously running. On the social media structure, we're very strong on Facebook. In regards to the Facebook side of things, our strategy was very much, let's look at this from a point of view of it's a 3-week period, a 4-week period for the lockdown. So what we'll do is, the first week is very much everybody's shell-shocked, everybody's at home. It's like cabin fever. We don't know what we're actually doing at home, but we're waiting at home because that's what we're told to do. So it's very much so, just putting out posts there, just organic posts with regards to, how are you feeling, and nothing sales at all. Nothing sales at all. It's all about looking after yourself, passing across the government advice, and reassuring people that everything's going to be okay, and so on. The next week was then into a little bit of humour. You've got to keep a bit of humour in there as well, because if you don't, it's not being stupid humour, but it's putting in a little bit of humour, which makes obviously, I suppose, us as humans.
Of course.
That's how you interact, because we're still humans. We're at home like everybody else is at home. So share that experience with a little bit of sales actually in there. So that odd post of a car coming in, just to say, look, we're still a car sales place. This week has been more. We've popped in slightly more cars. Slightly more cars, but it's still very much so. It's trying to get an engagement level with our Facebook followers. For instance, what we've got planned is as well, I've contacted all our staff members and made sure they're obviously happy to do so. And we're going to do an introduction to the staff members via Facebook. So it's like a reintroduction, and just a bit of background about them and what they're doing when they are at home. It's just what films they're watching on Netflix, what they're eating, what should they not be eating, what they're doing for exercise, if any exercise at all.
For as long as we're allowed it.
Absolutely, and it's sharing, those experiences and what you do, and I suppose what you do for the community and things like that as well. It's sharing all these things and keeping your name out there. It's keeping your name out there and your brand out there. The problem for a lot of dealerships, I think, is to basically lock the key in the gate, went home, buried their head in the sand, looking at the worst case scenario, and what they've done is they've now got a mindset that they can't get out of, and it's almost like a depression. It's almost like a depression, and they will not get out of it, or they'll take a long time to get out of it. Whereas I feel that we will, as a business, recover quicker because of the positive mindset that we've actually put about.
Yeah, which is, it's fantastic. It's great to hear as well that you've kept your digital channels open. I've sort of come across a lot of things on LinkedIn. Obviously, we've being a digital platform, we've had companies come to us wanting to sort of pause. We've obviously renegotiated. We've introduced a 50% offer. We've basically reduced everybody's budget by 50%, but still maintaining the same level of visibility by increasing their cost per click, not to the dealer, but to us. So it's that we went down this route of trying to add value, but also support. And that was the key one for us. The message we are trying to, or I've really been trying to push, and so, and as the business is trying to push, is now. I mean, digital advertising is very important. The showroom, your physical showroom at dealership level, is obviously exceedingly important. But the online showroom, your website, gets overlooked by a lot of people, and now more than ever, it's so important to maintain that showroom. So we've put out things that suggest ideas like have a look at your, as you've done, directing or diverting the telephone calls, your emails, your live chats. Are all your descriptions up to date? Are your prices up to date? Have you got all your finance examples? Have you got an end-to-end facility on your website? And it's trying to get that message out to dealers that actually it's super crucial to stay visible via digital channels. And I'm not saying go out and start forking out more money, but to maybe just renegotiate deals as opposed to panicking. And that's what it was initially, and rightly so. I would have done as well. The panicking. Doors are closed. I'm not going to sell any cars. I need to cut spend. Just reverting back to a point you made earlier about those little direct debits that might be £20 here, £10 there, £50 there, and you don't look at it normally because, well, fingers crossed, everything's going great, and you don't need to worry about the £120 in little direct debits. But now it's those little wins that add up to one big win. So it's very, very important to keep your digital channels open, and it's fantastic that you've done that, and it shows because as you say, you've sold a car to someone down in London completely remotely, and rightly so. You're delivering it when it's safe. That is crucial. And then I also saw you put a post out with an inquiry that came into the business. If you're not there, that doesn't happen. And it's not necessarily the quality of the lead; it's the lead itself, isn't it? The fact that you've got the lead, it means you're doing something right. So yeah, I mean that's brilliant.
Paul, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the leads are drastically down. Leads are drastically down.
Of course,
and sales are drastically down as well. However, we've sold 4. We're working. Phil's working the 5th at this moment in time. So the reality is, what I'm basically saying is, if you don't answer to the leads at all, you've got nothing. You've got absolutely nothing. You've got no pipeline to go back to at all. So things are down, and there are a lot of dealers out there saying, well, listen, I've got no leads at all to even follow up on. Again, things will come back. It depends a lot on the type of stock that you've got and, what people are actually looking for at that time. But, having sold 4, am I happy with 4? Would I have been happy with 4 this time last year for the fortnight? Absolutely not.
No.
If I had hair, I'd been pulling it out. But
you can have some of mine.
But the reality is, you're happy with 4, potentially 5 sales at this period of time when the gates are actually closed on both premises? Absolutely were. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that is astonishing. It's a fantastic number. Just because your doors are closed doesn't mean that the business is closed.
Correct.
And that's brilliant. I didn't realise you were up to 4. It's really, really good. And you've everybody's going to tackle this differently, right? Everyone's going to come at it from a different angle. But it sounds like you're doing a lot of the right things, which is fantastic. Just sort of about you, because obviously you're very active on social media, as you've said, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. I saw a post from you, and this tweaked curiosity within me. What was it about the 3 cars to key workers? So what are you doing? I suppose the question is, what are you doing for the community? But more specifically, what was that about?
Okay, so it's a charity called Nerves, which is Northeast Riders Rider Volunteers. Yeah, so they're actually motorcycle based a charity. So what they actually do, or what they originally did, was they originally, a few years back, they would have actually taken basically blood from one place and put it to the next. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the back of motorcycles. What they said to us, and this is a few years back now, or maybe 2 or 3 years ago, they said during the winter time the bikes can't go out with those vital supplies. Is there any chance of if you've got a van or a small car that we can get? And I said, I'll tell you what we'll do is I've got a small Fiesta van, which is actually a car derived van, which means you can go at 70 miles per hour instead of just 60 miles per hour on the motorway. And we will lend that for you for a 12-month period, and then we can revisit it then. So that's what they did. They had it for 12 months. There was no cost to them at all. We wrote it back on our books, our own car, it was sitting on our assets, or our own van, absolutely fine. When it came out to 12 months, they said, can you do it for another 12 months? I said, look, what I really need to do is, I'm looking at supporting other things. What they said was, what if we buy it from you? And I said, well, I'll sell it to you written down cost, so it's absolutely cost. So they got a really cheap van. So they did that, and that must have been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Out of the blue completely on the Monday night. It was the same Monday night that Boris made his announcement about obviously the lockdown side of things, and my head was absolutely minced. I'm going, oh my God, because we'd have already planned obviously to close on the Friday, but this took forward obviously that decision to the Tuesday. So that on the 23rd we would actually be closed. But late at night, looked at my emails. There was this email come through from Nerves, and I always go with my gut reaction, Paul, and it just said, and I likely only read half of it because it's so shattered, but it just basically said, a lot of appeal, we're looking for some support. Have you got maybe a card you can give us? And I said, look, if you meet me down at 7:30 tomorrow morning, we're going to be closing up and making sure everything's put past. I says, by all means, come down at 7:30 with 2 drivers. You can get 2 cars, and it was 2 of my loan cars, which we've given them. In fact, when we got down there, I counted out what we needed, and I could actually spare 3 cars. So I actually gave them 3 of my little Skoda Fabia loan cars out to the community. What they're using them for, okay, so they're actually using for movement of staff members, so NHS staff members between hospitals, and also the movement of vital supplies, and I presume that's including PPE as well. So it's just doing a little bit, Paul. The cars were going to be sitting doing absolutely nothing behind a closed gate. Let these guys. I'm not really, the mileages and things like that. It doesn't really matter. Let them use them, and then we can revisit it once we actually come back. After the lockdown. So
it's about sticking together, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just if you can help, you should help. That's my my view on it, Paul. If you can't help, you can help.
Perfect. I'm gonna let you go very shortly. Just one quick question. What are you doing to pass the time? Just a bit of fun. How are you finding being at home constantly, and what are you doing to pass the time other than drinking and eating, I suppose, which I've done far too much of?
As Paul, it's one of these things, isn't it? It's careful what you wish for, isn't it? Because we all wish for being at home and a bit more time in our hands or whatever. You be careful what you wish for, and it's funny because I read so many people saying the cabin fever or whatever. I'm very lucky because we actually live on the outskirts, so we're actually in a country setting, so it's absolutely phenomenal views, it's phenomenal weather. I've been cutting my grass. My wife is Gail. My wife is absolutely fantastic. She's a fantastic cook. She's fantastic. She bakes. So I've got a collie dog for exercise. So all these things. It's in reality, had it not been the fact that the pressure is on, obviously, to keep the business up going and and going, and the fact that the doors are closed, but there is this kind of unusual feeling of calmness almost, Paul.
Yeah.
And, I can't really describe it, but it's almost like, a few years back, and the only thing I can say very similar to is a few years back, we decided to close on Sundays. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So the great thing about it is when you close the business on a Sunday, nothing is going on at the business. So there's a calmness about it. You know that the phone's not going to ring about, this deal, or, this problem, or, this thing that's going on, or this lady's been on the phone, or this guy's just emailed. You're not going to be bothered with it. And it's almost the same feeling as that.
Right.
I can't describe it any better than that, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I mean, yes, eating and likely drinking slightly more than what I should do, but when I go into that. But no,
I think you're with the rest of the country on that front.
But I think you've got to keep a routine. I think that's one of the main things. Keep a routine. Keep exercising. That's what I would suggest as well to people. And keep positive. Don't think of it. As business owners, you've got to make decisions based on the worst case scenario. Yeah. However, if you continue to look at the worst case scenario, that's exactly what you'll get dealt. You've got to look positive now. You recognise what the worst case scenario looks like. Don't concentrate too much on it or focus too much on it, because that is what you've got as reality. That's my feeling anyway.
Well, perfect. Great insight to what what you're doing. It sounds like you're keeping your wife busy, if I'm honest, rather than the other way around. But listen, Jim, I really, really, really appreciate your time today. As you said, it's the stress, the hassle, and all those thoughts that go around in your head, certainly at the unpredictable times. So I really appreciate your time today. If only one thing, I hope that the listeners will take from this. Obviously, you don't have to take everything on board. Obviously, you're an exceedingly insightful person within the industry, and it's why I wanted to have this conversation with you. But if the listeners just take one thing away from this, just to help your business, your community, your family, or just to support anyone around you. But again, I really appreciate it, Jim, and I'll let you crack on and get to whatever you're doing this afternoon.
Well, if I can just finish off just for 1 second, and it is about it's about sharing and it's about giving at this stage. That's what it's all about. What we've got to forget, what we do forget about, because a lot of us are actually focused on the economy and the economic crisis. What we've got to remember is, there is a crisis going on, which is actually the reason we're in this economic crisis, and it's to do with the coronavirus. And there are people losing their lives, and there are people out there who are fighting to save those lives, and that's very, very important. And we've got to remember that. That's at the front line, there are people getting affected by this every single day. So our worries about little businesses and things like that, should pale into insignificance when it's about obviously life and death, and that's what I feel. I also feel that there are support out there. There's support out there for regards to the IMDA. We're there to support each other, but also from an industry point of view, there are a lot of industry people hopefully listening to this, and that is, the BEN organisation as well. From a mental fitness point of view, mental health is very, very important for us all. If you need to go and speak to somebody, look up BEN, just Google them, and they're there to help. So, and I'd like to thank you for inviting me on, because if this is your first interview, you've done absolutely exceptionally well, Paul. So
thank you. I'm sweating a little bit, but thank you.
We appreciate Carsnip's support with IMD as well. Really appreciate that as well, Paul.
No problem. Like I say, well said about the situation, and to everybody listening and not, stay safe, stay home, and protect the NHS. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul.